What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another reaction video for you guys. Now, in this particular video, Ayesha Curry is back in the news, you guys. So she is back in the news for disrespecting her husband, Steph Curry, once again. So we've seen videos like this where she said things that, you know, didn't fare too well or put her in a good light when it comes to her husband. And yet again, she's doing another video kind of exposing her nature and how she really feels about her husband. So I want to play a clip of what she had to say and what a few other people had to say about this recent interview that's gone viral that everybody is talking about. I want to give my 2 cents on it, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it as well. So make sure you chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe, share, and like the video if you like the video, and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
So what's it like being with the love of your life, Stephen Curry? Love of my life? I don't even like him. Love? You gotta stop. Like, do you think you influenced his game at all? Or I don't even think he can play, personally.
I'm casually scrolling threads and I see Ayesha Curry online on another podcast embarrassing Steph Curry.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals, and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. He's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself.
Ayesha Curry is a person. Now, before we get into this next clip, I want to just give my thoughts on it. You know, she really speaks as if she doesn't like her husband. I'm just saying, and I could be totally wrong, but she speaks as if she doesn't really like him, that he wasn't her first choice. This is how women speak when that is the case. And once again, I could be wrong, but this is just what I get from the way she speaks about him. It seems like he was not her first choice. She really doesn't like him for real, but maybe because he, you know, offers financial stability, she went, you know, with him, because she speaks of her relationship and her experiences with him as if it was, as if she's not satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not satisfied with what she has, even though she chose that. It's like she has second thoughts. You know, every time she says something, it sounds like she regrets her decision to be with her husband. Like, but she doesn't know how to get out of the relationship because she knows he's probably a good guy. But he was truly not her first choice. He was truly not the person she really wanted to be with, but she's just kind of settling with him. But she has everything that she wants in the relationship, but she doesn't really like him, and that wasn't her you know, her first choice. That's how she comes across. That it really does, because she doesn't speak in a, you know, in a bubbly, you know, great way when it comes to him. Everything is a problem. Having the kids, oh, it was a problem. Oh, I wanted to have a life for myself, which I personally don't understand why women think when they have kids that you can't have a life for yourself. You may not be able to do it all at one time, but you can certainly have, you know, ambitions and goals in life. You don't just have to be a wife and a mother. You can, that is part of your life, but you can certainly, you know, your kids grow up. They don't stay babies forever. I personally don't understand why women have this one-track mind and think that they can't have any goals or aspirations because you are a wife and a mother. That is certainly not true. There are many women who have it all, who have both. Once again, I personally believe that you have to prioritize one thing at a time, though. I think if you want to have a family, you're raising kids is a lot of work within itself. So it's going to be difficult to navigate raising kids and pursuing a career. So quite naturally, you have to choose one at a time. If you want to be a mother, you have to focus on raising your kids. When you raise your kids to a certain point to where they're in school or in college to their grown, now you can go and pursue some other things when your kids are out of the way. This is why I always say it makes sense to prioritize marriage and family first, because you start that early on. By the time, your kids are out the way, then you can pursue other aspects of your life. Being a mother and a wife is not the only thing that you can do. It's just you have to prioritize them at a certain time. That's just my experience. But I hear this notion of women who think that, once you're a wife and a mother, that's it. That's all you'll ever be. That is not true. That it doesn't have to be like that. But I will say, once again, you have to prioritize one thing at a time, because raising kids and being a wife in a household takes a lot of your time as it is. So if that's your focus on that first. That way you won't have to worry about that later on. And then later on, when your kids are older and they can, do things for themselves and your relationship is intact, there's nothing wrong with finding other goals or aspirations that you can incorporate into your life. That is not impossible. So I just want to point that out. Let's continue.
It is so important to have a phase. Go be a but be a safe. Like, protect yourself and don't get pregnant. That's why she's sitting over there feeling trapped with Steph Curry. Sometimes you gotta go through some stuff to really appreciate what you have. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never had a heartbroken time and time again. That's why she can't really appreciate what she has, because it's like, I need something edgy. I need something fun. Like this mom stuff, this being married to Steph Curry, this is boring.
See, this is the problem. And a lot of women think like this. This is what being young in your 20s, go have your fun is all about. Going out and rushing to be a hoe. And then you end up getting your feelings hurt, your heart broken, you get trampled over, you get used and abused. And what you're doing is you're creating a toxic environment for any future relationship that you could possibly be in. This is the very thing that women like to promote. And then this is the very thing that they turn around and complain about. Oh, these men ain't this and they ain't that. And they treat us and they dog us out. So you mean to tell me you're going to advocate for being a hoe and going out and experience getting your heart broken, experience being drugged through the mud, experience going out getting this edgy man who don't give a shit about you? This is what you're going to advocate for, just to turn around and have all these bodies and then turn around and complain about men and how messed up they are. And this is the experience that you have to have so that you can appreciate a good man? Tell me these women aren't delusional and messed up in the head. This is exactly why I say women are the ones who need the most work, because this is asinine to me. There's no way in hell that you have to go through these types of experiences in order to appreciate a good man. Why is it that when it comes to black women like to push this idea that you have to go through this phase, you have to go through these horrible relationships in order for you to come out on the other side to be able to appreciate a good man? Why can't you just have experiences with good men in the first place? Why can't you meet good guys and attract good guys in the first place so you don't have to go through all of this trauma? Because this is the trauma that they complain about. This is what they always talk about. Well, you don't know what I've been through. Men done did me wrong. And do y'all like to be treated badly? Do you think you need to be treated badly in order to understand and relate to somebody that's good? That's crazy to me. But this is the mental, the warped mentality of a lot of women. They really believe this. They really think that it's something that you have to go through. So you got to be for the streets in order for you to realize a good man. No, because, and we know that's not the truth, because there are a lot of women who are out here who are for the streets and they still don't want a good man. They still don't know what to do with a good man, because that's all that you're used to. You're accustomed to the street dude. You don't know how to deal with a good man. So whether you've put yourself through the trauma and the toxicity, or whether, or not, y'all still don't recognize good men because you've never experienced good relationships. You only are attracted to the bad guys, and then all of the struggles and the toxic relationships that you've been through, it doesn't make you better for a good man. It just makes you worse, and it makes you unqualified for the man that you say you want after all of the trauma. This is not good advice. I would not tell any woman that you got to go out here and have a whole phase and you got to go through all the bad relationships. You got to be drugged through the mud. So that's not it. Let's continue.
Now she's really rebelling. She want to be in the streets. She want to be desired by other men. She probably want to do something with another man because she probably never experienced that. Like, when did they get together? Like high school or something? That is not enough time to be out in the world and do stuff and experience stuff. Like, you don't have to experience a whole lot. But I don't think she experienced anything at all. And now she's tied down, married with kids. You can't go do your thing right now unless you go do your thing and run the risk. Like, you ain't just no Lucinda from down the block. You're Ayesha Curry. If you gonna mess with anybody, trust me, we gonna know about it.
I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm not home, like, did you experience that?
I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
Well, look, that's the thing. I don't think just because you are a wife and a mother that you have to lose the interesting things about yourself. Who's telling these women this? Who has filled their head up with these ideas? You don't have to lose yourself because you have a husband and a family. Once again, now your priorities are focused on your family when you create a family, for sure. But why is it that there's this mentality that you have to lose interesting things about yourself just because you create a family and you have a husband? Why can't you could still be creative and still, have certain things that you have for you? Why is it that women think they lose themselves in marriage? And I think it's a common thing for women and mothers, because what happens is, and I get it because I'm a mother and a wife, and I get it, when you're raising little children, small kids, and more than one, you wrap yourself into your family. Your focus is your family and not you. So I get that you can sometimes not focus on yourself because your priority is focused on your babies. When your children are small, they need you 24/7. They need your attention. They need your time. Everything is centered around your family. So I understand that you have to immerse yourself into your family, and it could take away from you, but it doesn't mean that it have to. It doesn't mean that it has to continuously be that way. You give your time to the things that are most important. Just like people spend majority of their time focusing on careers and all of that, and that's where all your time go. Or if you're an athlete, all of your time is into that because that's your focus. So normally your focus is going to be on your kids when they're little and your family, because that's what you're prioritizing the most at the time. But once again, those children grow up. They don't need as much as your time and all of that when they get older, because now they're starting to do their own things. They're not as, it's not as, you know what I'm saying? Your focus doesn't have to completely be on them as the older they get. They start to do their own thing. They start focusing on their lives. They start, they get older, they get jobs, they go to college or whatever. They start building, and your focus don't have to be on them as much. So now you can carve out time to find your interest and your passion and do things that will help, to shape who you are. You don't have to completely just lose yourself because you're married and because you have kids. I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, that, when you get married and you have kids, your life is over. It's doomed. You can't have any other passions or dreams or ideas. That's just untrue. A lot of women don't want to wait. You don't want to focus on one thing at a time. You want to believe that you're Superwoman and you can do it all at once and not realize that something is going to be neglected. And to me, the most important years for your children are when they're young, and your relationships, because if you're building a marriage and a family, that has to be your focus. You have to make sure that that's intact and that that's solid and stable before you try to go and do something else. And I think the problem with that is women don't want to wait. They want it all right then. And then when it doesn't work out, they're complaining because something is going to go lacking. Either your children are going to be neglected, or your husband, your spouse is going to be neglected, because you can only focus truly on one thing at a time. But a lot of people think that they can do it all, they can multitask, but something is going to be neglected. So if you don't want to risk that, focus on the most important, and then work and get that out the way, and then go to something else. That's just my opinion. Let's continue.
Being willfully ignorant as if having a phase isn't essential for most. And what's your definition of a phase? Because there's different levels. Like, being a doesn't mean you just sleeping around with every man you meet, every man you go out on a date with. You go on a date with a different man every day of the week, but never lay down with that man. They will also classify you as one if you never have a one night stand ever, and then one night you have one. Now, all of a sudden, that's what you are. Someone asked, would I give my daughter the same advice? I wouldn't word it like that. But essentially, yeah, go live your life. Just like everything else, they have smart hoss, and then they have not so smart hoss. So be a smart one. Always protect yourself. Have discernment. Do not lay down with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know, date around. And no, this is not the same for everyone. Like, not everyone needs that phase. But it's kind of like when a kid grows up rich with all the money in the world. Money could buy anything that they want. They never had to suffer or struggle for anything. A lot of times they don't really appreciate it. But the people that grew up with nothing, and then all of a sudden they have something, they have a certain level of appreciation for the things that they've acquired. But yeah, everyone's phase looks different. Like, some people, they'll just have their phase for like, all it takes is one time, maybe two. Some people it take years, and some people, they still in that phase in their 50s. And I never said Ayesha needs to go experience her phase right now. I'm saying, like, she should have done that before she got married and had kids.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't agree with it at all. I just don't think they make it as if it's a prerequisite for, you know, life. Like, this is something you have to do. And this is why we have so many 304s out here. We have so many women out here with all these bodies racked up, thinking that this is the way to go. And then they look dumbfounded and confused when men don't want to be with them, you know? And if you had a phase all the way into your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you probably are single, because ain't no man gonna want to deal with a woman who done had that long of a hope. What's the problem? That sounds like a mental issue. Like, you have not figured out yourself or what you should be, who you are in life, to where you have to throw your body around like that. By the time you're ready to settle down, after you've completed that whole phase, now you want a good man with all the expectations, with all the fixings. Now you want somebody that's super great and gonna treat you like the princess you think you are, without acknowledging that phase. Like, that doesn't matter to men. Men don't see it the way you do. And if you want a man eventually to take you seriously, you got to consider what men would want. Please don't follow this advice. Maybe this is the Steph Curry's wife, is Ayesha Curry, is out here looking for something, because she really speaks as if she's not happy with her decision, that she really wanted something else, and she doesn't know what to do with that. And it shows every time she opens her mouth and talk about her relationship. I would advise her to stop talking about it, girl. Go live your life. Stop exposing yourself, because you're making yourself look bad, and you're making your husband look bad too, because it shows that he's not her first pick. She wanted something else, but she's stuck with him. And she's basically saying that every time she does an interview about and talk about her relationship. So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular video. Make sure you leave your thoughts, comments, concerns in the comment section. Share and like the video. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. Chime in, you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.